Dear students, welcome to session 1 of chapter number 1, Computer System Overview. Students, today we will be starting with our chapter number 1, that is, the name of the chapter is Computer System Overview. In this chapter, we are going to learn that how our computer works internally. So first of all, what is a computer? A computer is an electronic machine that takes some input, processes it, and finally returns the desired output to us. Okay. Now in today's world, we know that computer is the basic necessity of every human being. In all sphere of life, we require computer. Okay. So now first of all, what all two things the computer composed of? Computer is composed of basic two parts, that is hardware and software. So what is hardware? Actually all the units, all the things that we can touch, that means all the tangible parts of computer is the hardware. Okay, all the electronic components that we can touch are the hardware parts of the computer. Like we can see here that a monitor is here, microphone is here, then we have printers, speakers, RAM is there, then we have mouse and all the other parts also that we can actually touch, whether they are the external part of the computer or whether they are the internal part of the computer. They are the hardware of the computer. Next we come to computer software. So what is a software? Actually software is the group of instructions that actually makes the hardware work for us. Okay, so we have already done lots of softwares, like we have worked upon MS Word. Right now we are working upon MS PowerPoint, then like MS Windows, Microsoft Windows. This is the operating system. Again, it is a software. You have you actually use so many gaming softwares in your daily lives. So these all are softwares only. Social networking sites or a video software or an audio software. All these are actually softwares that make our hardware work for us. Now, as we know that computer takes some input, processes it, and then gives the desired output. So this is actually the IPO cycle. Computer works on the basis of IPO cycle only. That is input. It takes some input, okay, processes it, and then gives the output to us. So the input actually is the raw data or the instructions that computer takes. That is known as the input. Then this raw data and instructions are processed in the CPU. Okay, and finally the desired result is found, which is the processed data, or we can also call it as information. So let's suppose we have taken an example here. 3 and 5 are the data, and what is the instruction given here? Instruction is to add both the numbers. Okay. Then what happens in the processing unit? That means the CPU, the addition of these two numbers is done, and then finally we receive an output as 8. We have added these two numbers and thus we found the output. In our daily lives also the same thing happens. We all work on the process of input, process and output only. Like let's suppose we have to make tea. So there will be some raw data over here. That means we'll require some dry tea leaves, we'll require sugar, water, milk, etc. etc. So all these are actually raw input for making tea. Then what is the process? The process of making the tea is actually the processing that we are doing here. And finally what we receive, that means the tea. Okay, ready to drink tea. That is the output here. So everything in our daily lives also works on the principle of IPO only. Then this is the basic computer system organization. As I've told you, computer works on the process of IPO. That means input, process and output. You can see here, first of all, the input is taken through some input device. This input goes into the CPU portion for processing. Okay, CPU comprises of other parts that we'll discuss later. And finally, what happens? We get the output. over here CPU is also connected with memory and external storage as well. So memory is the area where all the processing happens. This we'll study later on. And finally, the data is either given as output or it may be stored on some external or internal storage unit. That is, internal storage unit can be like hard disk, right? Hard disk is the internal storage unit, and external storage unit can be like a pen drive or a CD DVD, etc. Okay. So this is actually the basic computer system organization. It takes input, processes it, okay, and finally gives the output, and this output can also be stored on some storage device. So these are few basic input devices. What they do, input devices actually takes the input from the user. That means the raw data or the instructions are given through input devices like keyboard. Let's suppose we have to add two numbers, 3 and 5. So from where you are going to feed these two numbers to the computer? With the help of keyboard, right? If we want to open an app, so from where, with which device we are going to open the app? With the help of mouse or touch screen, right? If you have to store a picture into the computer which is there on a paper, so from how you are going to put that picture or store that picture inside the computer? With the help of a scanner. Similarly, this microphone or a barcode reader or a joystick. You all know what is a joystick? It is used to play games. So microphones, what are microphones? These are used to record our sound into the computer. You all have given your ASLs, right? So you have used microphones at that time. Okay, and what is a barcode reader? A barcode reader actually reads out the bars that are given on any of the products. So you can see at the back of your book, barcodes are mentioned. On every product, we have barcodes which actually contains the information about that product and the company which has created that product. So this is what is present on the barcode. So barcode reader actually takes the data from the barcode and saves it in the computer. So all the things that takes the data from outside and stores it inside the computer are the input devices. So now how these input devices works? So first of all, what happens? They receives the input from the user. Okay. What are the inputs? Input can be some data and some instruction related to that data. That is the input. Now, our computer does not understand our language. It understands only binary language. And binary means the language of zeros and ones. This you have studied in your junior classes also. Okay. So, the language of zeros and one can be understood by computer. And you can also say that 0 is actually off or low volt and 1 is actually on or high volt. Okay. Now you know that computer is an electronic machine. Okay. And you know that a fan is also electrical device, right? So it works on the principle of on and off only, right? When we switch off our fan, that time fan stops working. Okay. Similarly, when we switch it on, the fan starts working, right? So we all the electronic devices understand only two things, that is on and off, or here we can say low volt and high volt. Okay, so low volt is represented by 0 and high volt is represented by 1. So can you imagine all the work that you perform with the computer is actually stored inside the computer in the form of zeros and ones only. Okay, now coming back to the point. So input unit, what it is doing, it will first receive the input from the input device. Then it converts this input into the binary form. That is the computer understandable form. And then finally it passes this input to the respective unit. Okay, wherever it has to go, whether if it has to be stored somewhere, it will go to that part. If it has to work with any calculation is to be done on that, then some calculation will be done. It will go to that part and so on. Okay, so let's suppose 23 we have written. We have entered 23 with the help of our keyboard, and now this 23 is converted into binary form 0001011. Okay, so this is how computer understand. So this is the work of input unit. Next we come to output devices. Now what are output devices? All the devices that shows us the output. Okay, these are known as the output devices. Okay, so what all output devices do we have? We have monitors, printers, plotters. What are plotters actually? See, printers, you all know that what are printers? They are used to take the hard copy of something, any file that is stored in your computer, right? So, and what are plotters? If you want to print very beautiful graphics, big graphics on papers, at that time we require plotters. Okay, we cannot take a big printout using a printer. So plotters are used to print a very big graphics on the papers. Okay, next another output device is the speaker, which is actually it converts the file, the sound file that is stored in our computer in the form of sound, and it produces that sound effect. Now how these output unit works? So we know that in computer everything is stored in the form of binary digits, right? That is in the form of zeros and ones. So first of all, output unit receives the data, okay, in the binary form. Then it is going to transform that binary data into human readable form. It will just transform it in human readable form. We cannot understand the binary languages, right? So we can understand characters, we can understand pictures, we can understand audios, videos. So we cannot understand what is written in the binary form. So this has to be converted first of all in human readable form, and then finally this output is sent on some output device like the monitor screen or printer or speaker and so on. Okay. Next we come to the CPU. The full form is Central Processing Unit. So CPU consists of three parts actually. The ALU, that is Arithmetic Logic Unit, then Control Unit and the registers. So what all are these terms? ALU, that is the Arithmetic Logic Unit, actually deals with all the arithmetic and logical tasks that are to be performed inside the memory, inside the processing unit. Okay, that means if an instruction is there to add two numbers or to multiply two numbers, so those things, that data as well as the instruction will go to ALU for further calculation. Similarly, if two numbers or two things are to be compared among themselves, so that is actually done by the ALU, that is the logical tasks are also done there. Comparison, that means whether it is greater than, less than. So these all are the logical things. Okay, so they are again performed inside the ALU of CPU. Then what is control unit? Control unit actually controls everything that is going inside the computer. Okay, so let's suppose there is a program of 10 instructions. So what control unit is going to do is it is going to take first instruction. It will check out what is to be done with that instruction, whether some addition work is to be done or something else is to be done, or whether it has to print something. Whatever is to be done, that control unit is going to send that particular data to that part of your processor. Let's suppose we have to add two things. So that means addition will be done in ALU part. So control unit is going to send that data and instruction to ALU. And if we want to print something, so that portion, that part of instruction will go where? It will go to the output unit. So all the instruction one by one will come to control unit. Control unit is going to check it out, what is to be done with that instruction, and then it is going to send that instruction to that part of the computer. Okay, then the third part of the CPU is the registers. So registers are what? They're very small memory areas that are going to store your data or instructions or a memory address for temporarily, means temporarily they are going to keep their data, and then that data goes for processing. So whatever data or instruction is actually going for processing, that is temporarily stored in some registers part, and then that data goes for processing. So ALU, CU and registers, these are the three parts of your CPU. Okay, with this we come to the end of this session. Now students, will meet in the next session. Thank you.